Good morning, all my followers. This is Janie from Graham's Backyard Living, and today we're going to be inside. I'll show you what I'm doing. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, New Year's. Everybody stayed safe and is making it through some terrible weather that they're having. And today, which I tell you all, I usually only film when the sun is shining. But it is chilly outside, it's cold. You can see some of the girls are out there. Let me try and find a clean window. I tell you what, if anybody has a secret, I've tried everything to get good clean windows. But you can see them out there. They are coming out and getting around, but if you see, they'll come out and eat a little bit and then they're going right back in. And I don't know if you can see them up underneath their coop over there. But they are just not wanting to get out here in this wind. These girls over here usually fly around and stuff. And when they're running at you and they're going sideways, they're like, nope, I'm done with that. I'm going in. And so they're enjoying their coop today. It's nice and sunny, but like I said, it's windy and cold. So what do we do on a day like that? So today, we have time right now. But we have Buffalo Bills and, gosh, I can't remember who the other ones are play. So I'm kind of watching a little bit of football as things, as I work and stuff. It's just kind of background noise for me. Oh, these girls are getting out a little bit more. Over here to the other side of the yard, and they have that big bush right there, but you can see it moving. I don't know if you can see it on the film. But they have that big bush right there that kind of blocks a lot of their wind, so they can get up against there. But these are the girls that like to jump around and spread their wings and run across the yard. Well, they're not doing that today because it is just windy wind. And then, of course, it's going to get cold, but I just feel very blessed for the January that we have had. The weather has been great and nice and warm, even though I complain about the mosquitoes, but it came up on my timeline 7 years ago, something like that. A picture that I took outside with like 1.5 inches of rain or snow. So yeah, I feel very blessed that we have this weather we have today. So this is what I'll show you what I'm doing. Oven roasted marinara. And this is out of the Balls Canning. This is one of the other books. I looked for a recipe in there and I couldn't find one. So we're canning marinara sauce, pizza sauce. I use it for all of it. But so getting out of my freezer. And that's whenever I can feel the wind. It cuts through you and it's very cold. So it's nice to have both ovens going. I'm roasting up the tomatoes and warming the house at the same time, so I don't have to use no other heat. But here, going out, so I pulled out and I doubled my recipe for 40 pounds of tomatoes. So those are kind of just sitting there thawing out. And then I'm roasting. I got 2 roaster pans going and roasting some tomatoes. Roasting pan there. I got my small roasting pan going there. Just kind of roasting them up. I've already strained off some. So this is the tomato juice. I've strained off a bunch of the juice. I will can that. That'll be really good. And then I have a lot of my herbs. And this is what I cook my spaghetti sauce up in. Is like these 18-quart roasters. So I have the onions cooking down, the garlic cooking down, some of the spices, the salt, pepper, stuff like that. So all that's cooking while I'm milling all of the tomato sauce. And so that's what it's coming out to, and that's what it's looking like. And this is just like, you don't need anything. This is like one of the most expensive appliances, I guess, that I have. And if you have that, you can get so many more attachments. This wasn't that costly at all. I got that off of Amazon and just attach it to it and it works great. You can see the sauce is coming out great, and I'll be adding that as I go. But my process is I pull, got everything in the roaster. They roast out. I pull them here. I put them in the, put them in a bowl and kind of press it out. And that's where I get a lot of the tomato juice. If you have never made your rice with no water whatsoever, so whenever you make your rice, I have a little rice cooker, or however you cook your rice up. If you take your rice and put a little bit of broth, your chicken broth, beef broth, don't matter. Broth is broth to me. So you pour a little bit of the broth in there, and then you add that tomato juice. Oh my Lord, that is the best tasting. I've never eaten a whole lot of rice just per se by itself. But when you add that to it, it has some of the best flavor. And I wish I could, because of my esophagus issue, I can't do a whole lot of rice. I was looking at that bird. It looked like it was jumping on a little Tweety bird was jumping on one of the chickens, but it wasn't. But so I use that and mix those together, and it makes some of the best rice. I cooked up some chicken thighs, and how did I do that? I put them in the Instapot, I guess, for just a little bit, just to kind of pre-cook them. And then I put them in the oven, laid them out and put them in the oven. And I put that rice, I put bell peppers, onions in, mix that with the rice on a bed of rice, and put those chickens on top and finish cooking them out in the oven. I ate on that for days, and I could still eat on. I could make that recipe again and still eat on it for days again. I just loved it. But I wanted to show you. I didn't save the one big chicken egg that I got, because it was a double yolk, and I felt like I needed to send the chicken to a spa day or something, because that was the hugest egg I've gotten, and it just hurt my heart. But anyway, and then I ended up with this one, and I don't have I haven't collected, but to compare these two. But this is a little chicken fart, so I got that one. But I'm back. The chickens are back producing their eggs. Not up to, I guess my standards would be as far as getting a dozen or so eggs a day, but enough that I took care of a couple of customers. They came and got their eggs this morning, and they were happy to do that after a couple of months of them taking time out. But these birds here, I used to not let them out on this side yard, and I'll tell you why. Look at my sidewalk. Open this door, and I yell at them. When they see me coming, they take off running. You better stay out of them rocks. They dig all these rocks up and put them, and I have to brush them all back and put them back in place. But now I remember why I don't let chickens on this side of the yard. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Ooh, that air feels good. With this, with both of these ovens going and stuff, I'm starting to sweat, even though it's pretty cool outside and the wind is blowing, but that fresh air felt good. But they had been in their pens in the run. You know, they got a run and stuff, but I do a run of, and I do have bricks. I have them a dirt bath, and I have a brick area, but these girls' nails were ungodly long. I had a couple of them, their nails started curling. So we had to do a nail trimming day. So I guess that was their spa day that they got. They weren't too happy about it, but we got their nails all trimmed and got them situated. I felt so awful. They were walking sideways and everything else. So you might just watch that if you have any chickens and you don't let them free range and stuff. And I put down barn pellets in there so it stays really soft. I thought that they would scratch kind of on the blocks and stuff, but they really don't. And it was just starting to let them out now because their combs were getting really pale. I don't have anything. They run over there because I usually feed them over there. But their combs were getting really pale. They went through a hard molt. They quit laying eggs, and I felt so bad for them and everything. So I've started letting them out on this side, and they basically just stay kind of under that. They'll lay right there in front, and then they'll go up underneath that bush and stuff and just kind of stay over there. I do catch them on this. I had to pressure wash the pool deck off. That's why I don't like chickens out on this side. But eventually I may be moving them all over there with the other chickens. Yes, Mr. Scooters. And he did crow the other day, and what they say about Brahmas is he does, I had him on film doing this funky kind of clucking noise. Oop, it's getting cold out here again, so I'm headed back inside. Even though it's nice, the sun is beautiful and great, but yeah, that wind is awful. But he was doing this funky kind of clucking, and then after I got done filming the last one that I had out, when I got done filming, he crowed a few times, and which was cool. But he had, and I figured he would have a very, very deep voice. But yeah, he has a very deep kind of rooster sounding. And when he found his voice, he was crowing and crowing and crowing. And then I haven't heard it again. So he really doesn't. And I think I read that. I've been studying up on Brahmas, and I think that's what they said, is they're not real vocal, but he does that funny little clucking thing. We had a hawk that came and landed in this tree right here. And what got my attention was these ones that are over here, that I showed you by the pool area, they all gathered up underneath the little bush over by their house, and they were looking up. So I walked over there, and that hawk swooped down, and he went to clucking and clucking and clucking like crazy. I was like, okay, Scooter, okay, I'm here. It's okay. But that hawk has been coming around a little bit here and there. It's not a big one, so I'm not too concerned about it. But, you know, I'm watching to see if he comes. He's not been around today or anything, but Scooter is a good alarm, boy. He went off for about 10 minutes, just on and on and on and on. And I said, okay, he's gone. He flew away. So, looking to see where these tomatoes are at. And I'll show you some of that process whenever I get back to, whenever I get these out and get them roasted. And I'll show you what I'm doing with them, how I'm pulling them. But I pull them all out. Press as much of the juice out as I can, and then I'll probably strain that again because there will be seeds in there and stuff, and I'll get the seeds out. And I am currently out of my freeze-dried, and what I'll do is not freeze-dried, dehydrate. I'll dehydrate all of my seeds and my skins, and then I add that back into different dishes and stuff, and that helps thicken up soups or dishes or whatever, you know, put that in there. And I'll powder it up after it dehydrates. I'll put it in a grinder, and it'll be powder, and I'll add that powder back into soups or even the pasta sauce. If I don't get it thick enough, I can add that back in as a thickener once I have it out and cooking. I don't do it prior to canning. So we'll come back here in a minute, and we'll see how much progress we get into today. All right, everybody, welcome back to Graham's Backyard Living. This is not in the morning, it's a little bit later. I'm still doing some cleanup, so I'm going to finish up this video real quick, but I want to show you what we finished out with. I showed it at the beginning of the video, but I don't know if I'm more excited about the tomato juice or about the marinara sauce. Here's 13 jars, which is kind of strange. 13 jars of marinara sauce, and if you can see, it's nice thick. And then I got 2, 4, 6, 7 pint jars of tomato juice, and then 6, 7 of the quart jars of tomato juice. And for me, that was a lot. I mean, it doesn't look like I thought I would have. Thought I would have more marinara sauce than what I did, and it doesn't look like a lot to me. But my back tells me it was a lot. So I'm still doing some cleanup, but I want to appreciate everybody that subscribes to my channel and likes my videos and views my videos. It really helps me get out there and people viewing my videos. So if you didn't watch me prior to this, I'm going to continue on. This is like January. People, I didn't realize in January people do a lot of their canning and stuff in January, and it's the best time. But also on the tomato juice, I drink that tomato juice just like that. I have it all winter long. That's why I have some pint jars. And I was telling you, you can make it like the V8 juice. But also I wanted to let you all know that because I have a history of rheumatoid arthritis in my family, along with, and I have been showing some signs, like in my joints and stuff. I'm starting to get a little bit of that arthritis, and my RA factor is high for the rheumatoid arthritis. I've been diagnosed with osteopenia, and so all that kind of goes along with age. But what I do is, and this works for me, if you want to add, and you can do your own research on turmeric and pepper, but if you add some turmeric and pepper to any of your tomato products, I sneak it in the spaghetti. You can't really taste it. I put that in my tomato juice, and just as a health tip, I feel, for me, that keeps the inflammation down, and it's been proven that a good turmeric keeps inflammation down. And I do take the turmeric supplements, but this is just an added way that I can add that into my diet. So I do a pinch of turmeric, like a half of a teaspoon, and then a little bit less, just a sprinkle of pepper, because pepper is your carrier for your turmeric that helps it activate in your body. And even if you're having gut issues, it helps with gut inflammation. So just those little couple of health tips on stuff that I forgot to mention in my original video that really, I believe, helped me. You can do your own research on it and do what works for you, but that's something that kind of helps, I think, helps me with gut health, keeps the inflammation down. I have arthritis in my neck, keeps my headaches, and that was something yesterday. I was thinking my back is hurting so bad and my shoulder blades, and so I drank a little bit of my juice and stuff, and I feel a lot better today. But if you haven't subscribed, or you just ran across my videos, I appreciate you liking, sharing them, inviting other people to come and check them out if you like my content. If there's any other content you want to know about, or you have questions, I know sometimes, I'm a little bit up there in age, and I like to blame it on that, but sometimes I skip around and I go down a rabbit hole, and I wander off on other subjects and stuff because I have a lot to talk about, and I can't, when I'm looking around, I see things and then I'm off that way or off this way. But I usually come on here when I really have something going on, or kind of just visiting with my chickens in the backyard. And if you like my content, or you want me to add some different content, I try and give information on things that I use, things that I do that work for me, and try and pass those tips on. So if you like this, share, subscribe, hit that like button, leave me some comments, even if it's just, hey, glad to know you, saw that video, review some of my other videos, and just come along with me on my journey. I appreciate each and every one of you for every like, every comment, and every subscription that I get. So thank you very much, and we're just going to move on from here and see what comes up next. You all have a great rest of the day, rest of your week. Well, today's Monday, so have a great rest of your week. The sun is shining, and hopefully we don't get no wind today. So I'll get outside and spend some time with my chickens and enjoy them, and not look at any canning here for just a little bit. So you all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.